Hey everyone, Void Ranger here with a review for the Jada Nano Metalfigs, which is kind of a weird release since Hasbro has the license. I guess they licensed these out to Jada, who I'm somewhat familiar with just from, going to stores and seeing like the Marvel and DC diecast figures. There's not really much you can do with a review for these, in my opinion, but I guess to get the review part out of the way, they are all diecast. They're relatively heavy for what they are, and the paint jobs on them are really good. I've never bought anything like this because I don't care enough to get the Marvel or DC ones. And sometimes I like to pretend that I know enough people to get like a D&D group together. So I was like, well, these would be neat to just play as, characters if we ever did that. Or even maybe use them in Heroes for the Grid or... there's too many for the grids now, but the board game. I think it's Heroes of the Grid. I'm a bad fan, I'm sorry. Don't watch Sentai, don't know the names of board games. Do I even Power Rangers, bro? So there's some old mean humor for you. But basically, the paint on these are really fantastic. They look really good. And, I mean, there's not really much more I can say about them as figures. They're all very solid. But I thought, hey, I'll show them off. They're mostly Mighty Morphin, but they have, A, some villains in them, which is really nice. And B, some random picks from other seasons, which is cool to see. The biggest point of excitement for me with this line is if they do more, which I believe something leaked to show that there might be a second wave of these eventually. They've already got the Mighty Morphin Rangers out of the way, so if you want them, you can get them all in one go. Haha, go. But if you don't care so much about them, in theory, you shouldn't see them in future releases as much. You should see more variation. I'm sure they could do more comic characters like Ranger Slayer, since we have Draken back here, and Solar Rangers, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the core 7 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, unless they do like helmetless versions, which would be kind of weird. But I will show them off. I don't know how well it's going to focus, so I'm actually going to move their metallic selves over there and try to just show you one at a time. But you've got Yellow Ranger here. It can be Trini or Aisha, I guess, depending on how you feel. She's not actually like metallic paint, which is kind of funny, but I guess because she's yellow, they would try it's gold. Or it would come off as gold, but she is yellow. Her paint apps, for what it is just really good. I don't know how well it's going to focus, but you've got... I mean, they even got down to the saber-toothed tiger's eyes on her helmet. But some of them are metallic. Like, this is Triassic Ranger, so I can't really make the joke with him. They didn't really paint his shield, but they did get the paint on his legs. So, instead of just being like a straight-up Red Ranger wearing a Battleizer or whatever, you want to say, like, you can tell he is supposed to be the Triassic Ranger because he's got his blue, his gold, and his shield. We've got Scorpina, who, if you've been paying attention, yes, when they were revealed on the box, it said Scorpinar, but I like to call it Scorpinar because I'm 12. So Scorpinar is now my new internet handle. I'm going to be Scorpinar now. But she looks good too. I mean, again, I'm surprised with how many paint apps are on here. This set was $25. And I mean, I expected to mostly pay for the metal, but they did a really good job making these look good. And of course, you can't have anything Mighty Morphin related without Tommy here. Because he's mostly white, the camera is having trouble focusing on him with the background, but let's see if I can just zoom in. Let's zoom out instead. There we go. We'll try it this way. He looks good. I mean, yeah, it's White Ranger. Saba doesn't have the same paint detail, and it's like they were maybe limited to maybe 3 or 4 colors, which makes sense, but they did a good job kind of shaking that up and making it look as good as possible. You got Psycho Red here. And these would, like I said, make a good... let's do 2 at a time if I can swing that. But these would make good board game figures or D&D campaign figures or whatever. I personally, like, really honestly got them because I've mentioned in previous reviews that I really like those little Ranger figures that kind of came with well, I think Time Force had some. I know Wild Force did. I don't know if they came out in America. And the Thunderzords in America came with the little figures that kind of stood on top of the Thunderzords. And I like seeing, even if it's not 100% accurate, just like what the scale of the Zords would be compared to the Rangers. So in this case, they're close enough to that height, if not exactly. Maybe the base adds more. But I'm going to put them next to my Zords on display and just kind of, oh look, here's Ranger figures. Or the Rangers are beside them. Also, something to note is you get Coreg and the Wolf Warrior, which is just a repaint of the other figure, but it's still cool that they were like, well, we already did this mold, let's do both. So, and we all know about my love for purple, so more purple stuff, more purple Rangers, but they look pretty cool even if they're the same. And I was really kind of unsure what to expect with the colors on these. I guess because they're metallic and die-cast, they really pop. I was kind of expecting dull. I don't know why I was, but I just was. So, but like here with the Red Ranger and the Pink Ranger, you can see that they're shiny. They're like metallic. So I kept saying like, oh, we got metallic armor. Next time we're going to get the real armor, which was probably not their intention. But you get some kind of random ones. Like I expected Zed. I did not expect Rita, which she's coming up. You know, when I first saw the box and didn't actually read what was in there. I don't remember where I saw that picture first. Probably on Twitter. But then you get like randomly Adam. So from Zeo, and then the Gold Ranger you would kind of expect because it's Jason or Trey, but I didn't expect like Zeo Ranger 4 out of all of them, which is fine because Adam is my favorite male Ranger of all time. I guess if I had any complaint with this set, like Rita looks good. Kind of wish she had her wand like Zed does, but Goldar, I wish he had his wings, but I get why he doesn't, because he'd probably be past like their budget for these little things. I'm not really sure how, and he might be hard to fit in the package, but you know, it's fine. Another random one is the Phantom Ranger, which I'm not mad about at all. I like the Phantom Ranger. I think he's a neat design. I do hope one day maybe they'll do it in the comics and they'll just call it official. He's having some trouble focusing, but maybe they'll maybe they will reveal his identity. I don't know. You also get Ninjor, which is kind of neat to see because aside from the Deluxe Ninjor, you don't ever really see him in his like standard proportions. You always get that weird like Bandai bulk from the early 90s. So here's hoping maybe these are ones that Hasbro licensed out because they were getting figures at some point, because we're now getting a Rita figure along with a redone Zed. Half of these figures we've already gotten in the Lightning collection, so maybe these are just ones they have plans for. And here you've got Billy. Now, something kind of neat, and let's see if I can find it without messing things up. Most of these don't have like back paint. Like they're just solid. But then you've got like, see, here's like the Black Ranger. He's just, well, black on the back, which it's not going to focus because there's too many things on there. But you've got Zeddy here, or is it Ed? I don't know. But he's got his details here, and maybe it's because he had so much just red on his front that they were like, oh, here, we can add some. The budget allows to put some details on the back. But that's a little inconsistent. I don't hate it, but it is a little weird. But yeah, like when you look at the Rangers, their belts get full color, so maybe that's it. You can see the mold. I mean, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but the mold is there for their back diamonds, but they're not painted in. It's just a minor gripe, but it's just something I happen to notice. Now, essentially the reviews of these are finished because there's not, like I said, much to do. But I did want to show you what I was talking about when I had in mind, and so I brought some friends. We've got, oh goodness, he's big, but he's also zoomed in. That's probably why he seems so big. But, you know, it's the standard Deluxe Titan Megazord. And then, you know, it's probably not 100% accurate, but you put, let's put Wolf Warrior and Coreg under there just for consistency. But you can kind of see, like, I like how they scale up. See if I can move that back a little bit. You'll see a little bit more of the review area, but I like how they scale against the Deluxe Zords, and of course it's different for each toy itself because they're wildly inconsistent with heights and stuff, and depending on how much they combine with other things. But another fun one I thought would be to like show off is this big boy over here. Let's see if I can. I don't even know if he's gonna fit in the shot at all, but I can barely fit in the shot to get him into the review station, so get excited. Oh, good. But we'll bring Pyramidas in here. And I mean, he is gigantic. Just as a toy, just as, you know, a Zord. I'm gonna pull this up a little bit and just show you. And we'll find, where's Gold Ranger at? I think this is pretty cool. And this is why I got them, is to do this. But now let's pan down. He's a little tiny and blends in with his foot, but there, like, that's neat. I like the ability to do that, and I hope that they do more of these because I could totally find ways to display these on shelves. They don't take up any room, and again, they will double as board game pieces. So you could also do like the classic, oh, I'm standing on top of my Zord thing, which is kind of neat, and it almost works. Like, I mean, assuming you can fit in that head somewhere. So, but yeah, that's it. I just thought they were cool to show off. I think for 25 bucks you get some good quality metal figures, and they have a lot of potential, especially if they can tap into seasons you don't see very often. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe like a set of ones made for Megazords, like mini Megazords. That would be cool to see. But they're definitely worth the 25 bucks. They had a delay on Amazon, but it seems like they've gotten that all worked out. So yeah, pick them up. They should be arriving in stores soon. But that's it for today's review. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jargon, and check out my social media links in the description down below. And until next time, I will see you later. Bye.